Hello YouTube. Today we're going to put belts on the new Holland 644 round baler. The first thing you need to do is put your tractor, your hydraulic that picks your tailgate up into float mode. Then you can shut your tractor off. Then come around here and loosen up your tension, your bale density control valve. I don't know if you can see that or not. That's this little fella right here. Decrease the tension on it. It's just got a little locking ring there. You just take a hammer and that, smack it, and then release it. Then you come around over here and release this bolt. Now I made a few measurements. I just wrote on the side of the baler. It's kind of handy to give you a reference point to go back to. That way you don't have to go, well now, should that be 2 inches or should that be 3 inches or what? You can start off on 1.5 inches or 2, and you know what the old setting was. It was 1.5 inches and the belts were pretty bad. So go about 2 inches, 2.5, see what it looks like, and go from there. The third thing you need to do, and I'm not proficient at this in any way, you can do it any way you want to, but the third thing you need to do is that's your drive roller for your belts. You need to take the chain off. Otherwise you'll be pulling your pickup, your feed rollers and all that when you're trying to drag the belts. And that's a whole lot of dragging. So we'll get you set up and we'll see if we can't change 2 or 3 of these before the sun goes down on us this afternoon. All right then. Let's get started. Now, I'm not a big guy, and trying to pull these belts when you only weigh 170 pounds is pretty hard. So here's your little trick. Take your C-clamp, clamp on there, throw your chain, a hook, whatever, throw it around a bar, attach it to the four-wheeler, and then it'll pull backwards. I'll give you a shot. You can see how it works. And that's all there is to it. Then you just go back and get you another bite. And when the splice gets here, I'll show you how to do that. Okay, I can't recall his name, is Bagwell Farms. You can look him up. He's got a pretty good YouTube channel. Anyway, he was changing belts on his, and I told him about the board method. I'm not fortunate to have somebody to help me every time I go to work on stuff, so you have to kind of come up with ways to do it yourself. So the way I do it is I take this little board, just cut the width of these belts, line it up on one side, give yourself enough room to work, tighten it down. Now, get the other side. Now, some people cut their belts and then duct tape them back together. I'm a little wary of that. This method's always worked fairly well for me. It's a little aggravating sometimes, but anyway, you get you a stick. About, I'd say it's 1/2 inch by 3/4. Stick it behind your belt, right even with your lace. Now, clamp your bottom side. Now the main thing here is clamp it tight. because you don't want it slipping. And then get the other side. Then get your hand out of there, pull your stick out. Now what that does is that gives that slack. So you can push it together like that right there. And you can pull that little fella out. Whatever I've done with my pliers. Well, I'll be back. I gotta go get them. I'm back. Stubby packed my pliers to the house. He has a bad habit of carrying things off, especially if you don't think you're going to use them anymore. But anyway, you can catch that, and you can pull it or take a hammer. And that little wire will come about 90% of the time, sometimes 80%, come right out. And then since we're going to be pulling from the top, we're going to hook on to the bottom. So what you do is, you release your top, because it ain't going nowhere. Now the bottom will fall out, just like that. But with them little clamps on there, it makes it pretty handy to hang there. And then I'm going to have to move you to get the next shot, because we're going to hook the other belt to this one, then we're going to pull it through. And I'm going to try and do something a little, I guess you call it gutsy, but we're going to try to do two. Hope you can see that, because I got this splice and that splice. And another thing, you don't want your splices to line up. You notice how there's one up here, one down here, one in there, one over there. You don't want your splices all in a line. You want to stagger them. But since these two are on the ends, I'm going to try to feed two lines to it at the same time. Might work, might not. Hey, this is a YouTube first. I've looked all over the internet trying to find how to change belts. Couldn't do it. We got it now. So we'll talk at you in a minute. Alright, let me set it up. Okay. I didn't get done yesterday. It got dark on me, so I'm going to try to finish it up this afternoon. You're going to hear a whole lot of wind noise because the wind's blowing. So I'll have to talk to the camera, and then I'll have to do some work. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take this board off, put it on the bottom, and fasten it back on. Put your clamps on either way, as long as it's holding that belt. And you want to make sure that you turn this belt the same way. Since this is the rough side, I don't know if y'all see that, see, that's the rough side. So the rough side's down, smooth side's up. I made some wire. They're just little welding rods that I stuck in my pocket somewhere. Alright, I left them on the four-wheeler. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. This is a 3/32 welding rod. I just beat the flux off of it, cut it to length, made a little L in it so it's easy to get a hold of and pull back out if I need to. And I will need to. And then line my belt up. Slide it on there. Start my wire. Yeah. And there you go. And you can take the board off. And you can hook onto this belt and pull it. Now, I'm going to try to do 3 at a time. It may work, it may not. I don't know. But as you can see, I've got this one right here and that one right there. So I'm going to do this one, and this one. I'm going to hook my chain onto this and pull it, and hopefully it'll beat all 3 of them. We'll see how it goes. But you already know how to wire them up, so I'm not going to film it. I'll let you know when I get done. Alright, I'll be back. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I've attached my board. It's just, you don't have to really tighten these down. It's just more or less to help you line the belt up. And then you just pull the wire out. Throw this old belt back out of the way. Knock you all around. Stick that wire back in your pocket so you don't put it in a lawnmower or something. Now, they come with these little attachments, these fastening wires. Now, I don't know if it'll show up or not, but they got a little bit of a bow in them. You can't straighten that bow out. There ain't no need in you trying. What that does is that keeps tension on this wire. They've got a coating on them which will cut in. This will be better, you can see it. It'll cut into these grooves, and that's what holds your locking pin, is what they call it. I call it a wire because that's basically what it is. But the reason you put a board on is so you can line up one side of your belt nice and even with it. Plus, kind of helps to hold it. Kind of lines it up a little bit better. Gives you something to hold. And that little wire, holding pin, anything could be used as a hammer. When you get it right, we'll go right in. Give it a little pull to seat it, and that wouldn't come out of there in a hurricane. clamps off. Take the board out. Go get your other clamps and clamp onto that one, and we'll get it out of there. Alright, we'll talk to you when we get going. Now, I'm not going to show you putting the clamps on. Anybody ought to be able to put a C-clamp on a belt. I'll give you some GoPro footage of me pulling the belt out, and then I've showed you how to put the wire back in, so there really ain't no need in me showing you that again. So we'll talk to you when I get this job done. Okay, excuse me. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you know I told you I was feeling gutly and going to put two on at a time. I don't recommend it, and here's the reason why. If you look up there, you'll see how that belt jumped over the other one, and inside there, they're all catawampus or whatever you want to call it. But anyway, they're all crossed up there too. So I'm going to have to get inside here and straighten each one of these belts out, which is going to take a while. So I'm only human. I don't mind showing you my mistakes, but if you don't learn from your mistakes, shame on you. All right. Well, let me get to it. I'll see what I can do. Talk to you in a little bit. Safety third, YouTubers. Whenever you lift the tailgate on your baler for any reason, if it's just for a half a second, if it's for an hour, lock it out. Don't walk it under there unless you lock it out. That's safety tip of the day. Well, YouTubers, I'm back. We've got this all straightened out now. Belts are all running good. I've reset the tip. You'll have to wait till you get to the field to really know how your bale density is. I put it back fairly close to where I had it, and we'll just have to wait and see how it works out. Tighten that spring back down, and I put that roller back on, and I got John turned off and shut down, so he's good for today. Now, a lot of you may notice that my baler is dirty, and I'll tell you why. I do not pressure wash my baler, and the reason I don't pressure wash the baler is because when you pressure wash stuff, you put water where water shouldn't be, like in bearings, inside your chains, and all that stuff. And I oil my chains and grease my baler every time I use it and before I put it up. And if you notice, it says right there, every 10 hours you're supposed to grease your chain. But 10 or 12 hours, I've baled from daylight to dark before and greased them only once that morning. But never had that much problem out of it. It's been a good old baler. But there is nothing on the internet on how to put belts on a New Holland 644, so this will be an internet first. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, rate, comment, be kind to each other. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye.